Good evening. Good evening, Kathy. Hello there, Kathy.
Good evening, Dr. Rao. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I as well am good.
Good, good. Okay. Yeah, I was watching the evening news, and then there were some things, medical things they were talking about too. Um, it seems the carcinoma of the colon, the gut carcinoma, that is increasing in young people. There's a new
Oh,
statistics. Why that is, they were saying because they are eating a lot of this junk food, you know, processed food, and other reasons also there. Um, so some of those
such a
things.
medical dilemma for a
Yeah,
chocolate bar, junk food.
yeah, yeah. I
It
mean,
happens.
yeah. I mean the uh, young people before they used to eat good food before they leave home, right? But
Yep.
nowadays everybody eats outside, and that will become a problem for a lot of people. So
Mhm. I'll grow my own vegetables, thanks.
that's a very very good practice. I highly advocate that all the time. Uh,
I've never done it before,
mm,
but I took a potato with eyes all over the place and I stuck it in the dirt
ah,
and it grew.
yeah, and then onions, cilantro, so
Yep,
many things. Yeah, uh,
garlic.
yeah.
Yep.
Last year my daughter grew a lot of things, like she was very systematic about it, and she
Yeah.
grew like a 10 to 20 varieties. Yeah,
Sorry about that.
she brought all these small parts, and then she kind of put everything in a systematic way and followed them, and finally we got very nice tomatoes, eggplants, and
Oh,
some of the spices. They put those too. uh, my friend who lives in New Jersey, he has a whole big garden. you know
oh
he,
my, yeah.
yeah, he does
I,
everything.
I I have never liked radishes,
Yeah,
but I have been eating them like crazy lately.
radish is a very good superfood, actually. Yeah,
They're good superfood. Well,
yeah,
then I'm gonna get more.
yeah. It's a very good food. If you don't eat them too much, though, eat them
No, 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 no.
like sparingly, like on the salad, vegetable salad, that's good enough. Like a half or
Like an onion, maybe.
yeah, yeah. So combination of things, Kathy, that's really important. So that's what I was doing, and then I was doing some research on. This is my own personal research because it's from my book and all that too. My experience on silence, really leaves me quiet, serene, and really healthy in so many ways because I don't waste a lot of time thinking unnecessary things, and also getting my mind vagabond, right? So I don't have to think too much on unnecessary things, that's kind of thing. Then there were some studies that were done on that. I found them, so I was going through them. Um, it's more like a not having the data on that is important, but the experience of silence, that's important, in my opinion. So I was spending this afternoon, like a Sunday afternoon, relaxed, and we watched the cricket game in the morning, and all afternoon, me and my wife were relaxing with just simple things, right? And then I went into the silence affecting the mind. What is the physiological effect on the brain? And I'm talking about functional state of being in silent and then enjoying that serenity, that stillness, and all that. That's what the Yoga Patanjali Sutras talks about. They talk about how uh, stilling the mind is required to touch that silent self of ours. So that's what I was raised on, I was educated on, and then I investigated on. I kind of found out by myself what is the truth of that in me. I can't see anything in anybody else's experience, but in my experience, how was that silence affecting me, my health? First of all, I don't use any medications to make myself silent. I don't take any herbs or anything external to or I don't ask anybody to show me the path, right? From that, then whatever I have to do, I have to do, right? Somebody might have that. So this is where uh, lot of the sages played a role. They said nobody can really take you there. Only you can go into that silence by just being silent, right? So slowly you really learn not only just to be silent when you are alone, but you are silent when you are with people, with activities, with other things, because all those things can be done, right? Because we know about them, we do that. But then you can also separate yourself and observe what's going on within you, with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your reactions, with your reflections, whatever, right? And that has become boon, and later on, as you go into this practice, you are quiet. Very beautiful, blessed silence, blessed quiet. There's no rush of our opinions, though no rush of our judgments, or no rush of our any things like that. Okay, so I was wanting to present some of this for some people who really want to see some objective evidence or really work with that kind of thing, right? So that I was working on that. And then last night around midnight, there was a webinar I was invited to from India. So I attended from 12:30 to 1:30. This was about generally what we do with our brand. That's what they were saying, brand. Then I said, I don't have a brand, but I do have this penchant for deeper investigation. That cannot be sold as a brand. Only people who are interested will take it up. You don't have to, um, you know, sell anything or propaganda anything. And if they're interested, they will do. Otherwise, however much you say, they may not get it, right? They may not want to investigate it. They don't are interested. So some of the deeper philosophies I explore are very good for people who are interested in them and then who want to explore that. But the other people will find it, oh my God, this is so horrible to listen. So you don't want to waste your time or you don't want to force anybody like that. So very eventful. Last night that webinar, and this morning that cricket match, and then this afternoon the investigation, and in the evening news, there's news about what is happening with the gut health and how social media is selling so many things that are really harmful to. It seems one woman came to this physician who was presenting that she was saying she had some irritation of her rectum. So she came to the doctor and asked what she was doing. She said she took some coffee enemas because she saw them on the internet. And that's why her rectum has irritated and she has that inflammation of that. So be careful what you do and how you do, because all these commercially oriented people, they know how to sell, how to hype up their product, and especially if you have to put something into your body, be careful. And then so it's not like all these people are following what is authentic, what is really pure and ancient wisdom. It's more like some of these people from their limited experience they are selling, and then people are so they were talking about gut health, what is happening out there. And one of them they pointed out was there's an increased incidence of carcinoma of the colon in young people, mainly related to the this processed food, and that is what we should be really noting down. Okay. Uh, Other than that, I was really exploring into uh, insight. Insight, how does insight happen in anything anyway? You know, does that happen because we have a lot of information about it, or does that have just because we heard it or we saw it or we kind of went over the data, so in the hospital what happens is they have these quarterly reports that are generated from the EMR for the quality care of our patients. Okay, there are requirements from the government to present to them this certain percentage of this quality. For example, uh, you are asking patients they smoke or not, and if they are smoking, we are supposed to explain to them, and then we are supposed to give them a rehabilitation of getting rid of smoking and all that. That should be documented right in the beginning when you see the patient and see the vital signs and also ask this question. That has become a standard for several years now. I thought that was a great thing to do. But just going through that data doesn't make you, as a smoker, if you are a smoker, to quit and experience what that experience is by quitting it, right? So it's a kind of how you really go into the wisdom of it, not by just looking at the data, but then thinking over the data, reflecting over the data, and then getting a summary or comprehensive understanding of the problem, its benefits, and all those things. Right? It's not analysis, but just be aware of what can happen if you just continue to smoke. You end up breathing problems, you end up in COPD, you end up in carcinoma of the lung. All those things are there, and also you have a lot of problems with the skin wrinkles too. Invading the organs, all this nicotine vasoconstriction that produces blood vessels constrict and then deny the blood supply to the organs and all that. So there are so many things that are there. So you'll have a understanding and consequences of what is the prolonged period of smoking do to you. That is insight. You may have reviewed the data, you may have, but then you want to put it together, say, how is this applicable? How is this is going to be useful for me? Of course, Americans have made everything utilitarian. That's not it. It's not utilitarian. It is like a exploring all the information we have, and then reflecting on it, so that you are doing it for the truth, not for just the benefits of doing such and stuff. That utilitarian attitude has taken away many people from exploring things for the truth itself, not for the utilitarian purpose. That may come later, but that making that has become more commercial in any walk of life, and people have lost the art of reflecting and exploring things. It has to associate with some benefit that they have to have. I think that's a very sad state of affairs, whereby people are not able to go the depths, otherwise they would have gone. Okay. So I was uh, I was exploring uh, that piece of uh, thing to explore, right? What is insight? How does that happen? Does that happen just because we have data information a lot, or we think that we are going to say a lot about it from previous experiences, previous observation of anybody, or you allow your own uh, mind really go over all that you have, the information, the data, and all of that, and then come to a place where you say, okay, 10 people got cancer with this, so it's highly probable this is going to be the reason for the cancer. As simple as that. Or you can go into detailed workings of it. But all that becomes only information unless you reflect on it and then you act on it. So if you understand smoking and you don't want the smokers to smoke, if you are a smoker, obviously you will stop. Well, that's the action you take. But then you also will experience how that is and then relate it to. Or you work on a voluntary program, as a physician, I was able to work with it because it is presented to me. People come smoking, people want to, they may be suffering a consequence of smoking and they may not know it, but they won't stop it, the smoking, unless we show them some way or something like that. That's the therapeutic of it. But then a lot of people may do some societal movement where they go into several societies and take it as a job to spread the cancer spread because of the smoke. I'm using that as an example, right? So what you do after that comes after you have done that mental thing of reflection. I think a lot of people don't engage in that because they are too busy of doing whatever they are doing, or they are not inclined, or they are caught in that network of thought which only thinks but doesn't really reflect, which only overthinks but doesn't really see that you are overthinking. And that network is more and more. So if you talk to somebody who is in that network, they don't know what is beyond that network. That's the problem. Okay, that's what I was exploring this morning and this afternoon. It's very fascinating when you allow this kind of inquiry or investigation into the subtle matters of mind without really looking for a benefit. They can take you to the depths of the truth. You know, truth not according to somebody. You don't approximate it to something else. You got to discover it by yourself. That is insight. You have an insight into the workings, an insight into the subtleties of the thought and intellect and all that. Okay, so I'm writing a paper on that. So the title is this: Insight. Does that happen with uh, acquiring a lot of info and thereby overthinking, or keeping silent and allowing the truth dawn on you or discover you? If you really take some scientists, this is very fascinating to me. Um, they may be thinking a lot on a problem. On a mathematical level, I knew this too because I used to do composite mathematics, which is very um, complicated, and it's not regular adding calculus. They are there, but then it's much deeper, right? Mathematics is now much deeper. Okay, but then the mathematics, composite mathematics, allow you to work on a problem for a while, right? And then we work on that in a step-by-step process. Is order: 2 + 2, 4, and then you go from that order. If you miss the order somewhere because you were thinking tangentially or something away from the problem, then what happens is you are blocked. So when that block happens in the mathematical solutions, then you kind of shut off everything and leave it and go, and you go for a walk. Or the trick is not to go on thinking about this problem, but just to shut it off completely. the whole mechanism of the mind, and then you get just to spend some time in silence, and then lo and behold, the answer comes to you, you know, as if it is coming from the universe, right? Now, one very important mathematician that had really demonstrated the answers coming from the, you know, out there, not just from your local brain, was Srinivasan, right? He was a great mathematician, all time great, even now. Okay, so he was living an ordinary life. He acquired mathematician degrees and all that. He was not having a lot of money because the Indian conditions were like that at the time. I think it's the late 1920s, something like that. Then he collected some of the formulas and then wrote the solutions for them and then sent it to Thomas Bird or somebody like that, who was the leading physicist and mathematician in the world at the time, right? And it was in Oxford, in England, I think, and then I don't know which university. I think one of the best university was there. Then the professor saw those and he was very much surprised because they were working on these same formulas for years and they could not find the answer. And here, this man, they don't know him, and he sends them to them. So they arrange such a way that he is air freight is paid, and then he is coming from India. So they arranged his flight and everything, and he comes to England. And then the mathematician asks him, "How do you get these formulas?" And the man says, "Oh, these formulas came to me in the dream." What do you mean by dream? Then he said, "Okay, I used to meditate in the morning. I used to keep my mind silent, and then I go to sleep. The idol that is a goddess on which I am meditating, she comes in my dream and writes these formulas on my tongue." And in the morning when I get up, I can recollect all that she wrote me, and then I wrote them down. So it's like somebody proxying it, somebody telling it all. And because Srinivas is such a integral, integrative person and also authentic person, truthful person, he just sold as it happened. Okay, he has no interest of telling that I am the one who is doing all this, even though he is very knowledgeable about mathematics as existed then. But this is about newer solutions, taking the field of mathematics to something newer perspectives. So idea, the thing is that insights into the solutions of those complicated mathematical formulas happened to him because some divine force came and wrote them on his tongue. And he stuck to that, till he died, right? And then he had found problems of black holes and beyond, and so many physicists admired him as the greatest mathematician of all time. And they could not solve some of his formulas that he presented and gave solutions. They could not decipher them for 70 years after his death. Even now, some of them are still mysterious for them. So, what it is, there are so many mysteries in the world. Don't try to attempt to explain them with your limited mind, limited mind. So, when that limited mind, that personal mind that we calm down, then you are open to receive the universe. Okay, that's how I understood it. That's how the scientists also, they may be working a lot on their intellect to understand things and all that, but then eventually they will find when they are quiet, calm completely with their mind, then they will see, okay, I am getting this. That's why we say aha moment. That's why we say, oh, this happened to me while I'm taking shower and all that. Okay, but if you watch it carefully, what happened there was you kind of directed or shut down the superficial mind and allow the universal energy to come into you and provide solutions. Okay, so that is the kind of thing I'm working on. So it's more like a deeper aspect of life, and this aspect of subtlety of thought and all that. Okay, uh, uh, it all depends on personal interest. Whoever wants to do it, they can do it. Um, I'm just relating to you as to what is happening with my insight into insight or investigation into insight. How does that happen? Um, there is a book I read in 1980s. I still have that book in my collection. It's called Exploration into Insight. That was it's not a book written by J. Krishnamurti, but it's a compilation of talks and discussions he had with several people, several people who are interested in these matters. What is there beyond thought? What is the silence that yogis are talking about? How is that mind is so powerful after the silence? So that is for sure, though. All those talks are about that. What is for sure is when you really try to practice the true silence that we're talking about, without any aid of external agents, that the period you're in silence regenerates your mind. Regenerates. That means it kind of revives your mind. It kind of regenerates your mind's energy, right? And then the functions of your mind, like a uh, projection of something, idea, or remembering some experience, or exploring the details of that, or your spiritual tenacity, or your spiritual heart, and your powerful, focused, sharp intellect. All these are they're not mechanical, and then you are alive with that. Okay, and that is possible if you can really uh, be silent, put away all the devices, just allow yourself to be alone, allow yourself to be completely without any ideas, thoughts, and all that in your mind, and just focus on the breath and sit down, and then just don't indulge in any thoughts or don't suppress any thoughts. Let them come and go. Just watch them. Then that watcher, which is your awareness, that's where you want to establish. And once you are that, then you can really work with the data when needed, but throw it away right after you use it. Okay, and then your mind is pure, clean, and renewing itself, and also providing you enormous energy, and not causing you all the stress hormones otherwise you have. So if you don't have this kind of energy, then you are caught in that network of thought. One thought after other, one leads to other, and then you think, I'm so smart, I can think so many things. No, when you are thinking, you are wasting a lot of energy. But when you think appropriately and finish it off, then you will save a lot of energy. Okay. Um, so and I don't know whether that is complicated or what, but then that's the experience that you will go through yourself, and then you'll feel like this is uh, really a good thing that happened to me. Okay, so I will let you know some of these findings, but the better thing would be come and ask me questions. But if you are not interested in that, obviously it will bore you to death. So I don't want to bore you to death. If you are interested, you can always communicate with me. By the way, this app, many people come and listen, but many people don't come and engage in something like a serious discussion like that. Then why do you you know, call yourself wisdom, or why do you call yourself new vibe and doing all this major interviews with people, but you don't even know the people who are here at what depth they are. Okay, that's a question for the management, not a criticism, the question. Okay, it doesn't matter to me because I have my own way of going about things. I have my own way of living a life that is full of silence, truth, and really bliss. So I don't have any beef about acquiring anything from anybody. But what I'm saying is, where is your discussion? What is going on? Okay. All right. With that question, go and reflect on it, and then see what's going on. Okay. So I think that's enough for today's chat, because I just wanted to come and share some questions and some news items that I was watching. You know, so I will do my continuing series on wellness, a tip a day on wellness. We are did 10 days so far. That means 2 weeks are over. I don't know how many people are listening or not listening, or I don't know anything about that. But I will continue because I promised I'll do that. So I will be committed to that, and I do that as long as even few people come. Okay. All right. You can engage in your own type of discussions and all that. That's fine with me. And I will continue to contribute my way. If you want to listen, that's fine. And or if you want to come and contribute, that's also good. Okay. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Time in the evening. Okay. 8 p.m. Bye bye.